actually, we're here before the official event kicks off. It kicks off in 45 minutes approximately, and I'm very excited to be joined here by Marc Freedman, who is the founder and the CEO of Encore.org. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Freedman.
you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, and for taking the time. You're taking the stage in a short while as a keynote speaker, so thank you. We are living longer than at any time in history today. Have our societies, are we adapting to this change?
Slowly, fitfully. There's a famous saying from John F. Kennedy in 1961 that we'd added years to life. Now it was time to add life to those years. We keep adding years. We've added a month ever since then, but I think we're struggling to use that longevity in ways that are not only personally meaningful, but that mean something beyond ourselves, to our communities, to our societies, to the future.
So what can we do? What can we do to adapt better in societies around the world?
Well, I think we can think of later life in a different way. We've mostly focused on the needs of older people, which are real, but older people represent, in many ways, our only increasing natural resource. And we need to marshal the social innovations, the creations and ingenuity to take that talent and put it to good use in society, so it's not so hard for individuals to have to figure that out one at a time.
And you know, to be able to tackle some of the toughest challenges that our world is facing today, we really need all hands on deck. What actions can we take to make sure that we tap into the wonderful resources that older persons bring and that they can contribute to these efforts around the world?
Well, I think one of the most important and urgent fits is bringing the resources of older people together with the needs of young people in education, youth development, operations. Here in the United States, we've just launched a campaign called Generation to Generation to mobilize 1 million older people to fight inequality in the next generation. And all over the globe, I see efforts oftentimes started by older people aiming at that goal to create a better future for future generations.
Can you also share, you touched upon what you're doing in Encore.org. What are some of the efforts that you're doing to help create the change and to tap into the talents? If you can share some additional examples.
Well, you know, last year there was a movie called The Intern in which Robert De Niro played an intern in his 70s, and we have an effort called the Encore Fellowship Program, which is a 1-year internship fellowship for people over the age of 50 to use their midlife expertise in ways that promote social change, social justice, solve significant social problems. So they work in an NGO for a year as a way of launching a whole Encore career in that area. And this year there are almost 1,000 Encore Fellows in the United States. I'd love to see that effort spread throughout the globe.
That sounds wonderful, and a great initiative and efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and we look forward to hear your keynote presentation very soon here at the official event to celebrate the International Day. Thank you so much also for those who have watched, and be sure to tune in also at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to watch the live event also through UN Web TV from the celebrations here at UN headquarters in New York. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Mr. Freedman.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Welcome everyone. We are live again here from UN headquarters in New York, where we are just about to celebrate the International Day of Older Persons. We're just maybe 30 minutes before the official event will start. And my name is Helene Daun Rosengren. I'm with the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and I'm very excited to be here with Mr. Livingstone, who is the Executive Director of the NGO Sawaka in Tanzania. Thank you so much, Mr. Livingstone,
It's my pleasure
for joining us.
Yes.
What are some of the main challenges that affect the rights and the well-being of older persons around the globe today?
Thank you. There are so many problems that are affecting the older population. One of the problems is that most of the older people have low income to sustain their living, The other thing is that in developing countries like Tanzania, most of the older persons are overburdened by the increasing number of dependents, the orphans and the vulnerable children as a result of HIV and AIDS. So they find themselves sometimes selling the ritual things they have so as to sustain themselves, the victim of HIV, but also the orphans under care of them. But not only that, they are suffering from chronic illness. There are some countries which have introduced free medical services, but the challenge is when they go to the hospital, they don't find the required medication, so they are forced to go to the hospitals, to the private hospital, to buy for themselves. And they are wanted to buy, of which they don't have enough money to buy for the medication, and they opt sometimes to go for the local herbs, which is a challenge to them. These are some of the problems that older people are facing, but the other thing is that most of the older people are facing abuse and the violation of their rights.
What can we do to change this? I mean, we're here today to celebrate the International Day of Older Persons, so this is a way of raising awareness. What else can we do to make a difference?
One thing is that we need to do is to increase our advocacy and lobbying work, to engage key decision makers, to integrate older people's issues in the development plans and the budget, so that some resources can be allocated to support older people initiatives. That's one. Two, we need to bring together older people and young people through intergenerational programs, so that the young people can change their attitude and behavior among the older people. You see, the most thing I know is that the young people of today, they are the decision makers of tomorrow. So they need to grow knowing the challenges facing older people, so that when they will be planning, they include the issues of older people themselves, but because they will be planning for their future as well. Yeah.
When looking at the situation for older persons around the world, what differences can you see between developed and developing countries?
Yeah, there is a big gap between the developing countries and the developed countries. For instance, if you take the social protection scheme, most of the developing countries like Tanzania, is only 4% of older people who are covered by the social protection scheme, and 96% of them are not covered by any social protection schemes. Unlike in the developed country, you find that most of the older people are receiving monthly pension. Yeah.
To be able to tackle some of the world's toughest challenges today, we really need all hands on deck to be able to meet these challenges. What action can we take to tap into the talents and resources of older persons, so that they really become part also of our efforts and are included?
Well, I think first is to ensure that the UN Convention on the Rights of Older People is concluded immediately, so that the state nations start to implement practically the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Older People. But in Africa also, we needed to think about ratifying the African Union Protocol, and this will strengthen the rights of older people. The other thing I would like to appeal is that the government needs to set aside some funds to support older people's initiatives. But again, civil society organizations which are working with or working for the older people, they need to engage their government to make sure that older people's issues are heard, and older people are empowered to voice out their voice, to make sure that they are heard, so that the government can set their budget to support them.
And you are also engaged actively in Tanzania. Can you share some of the work that you are doing to help make a difference for older persons?
Thank you for your question. In Tanzania, as a local organization, SAWAKA, in efforts with some other age care organizations like Helpage International and Tanzania Social Protection Network, what we are doing actually, our main objective is to engage the government authorities to influence policy changes in favor of older people, but also we are trying to implement practical projects to support older people. In our case, we are focusing on the following areas. We are focusing on lobbying and advocacy for policy changes. We are focusing on emergency and relief support. We are focusing on health education and HIV impact mitigation, but also we are providing emergency and relief support to support older people and those who are under their care. Not only that, we are engaged on intergenerational programs of which we are trying to bring together the younger generation and the older people through school competition, of which we are engaging the young on school competition, essay writing, drawing competition, and the program design, so that when they are doing some practical projects, they do support older people. And in so doing, actually they interchange the idea between the elderly and the youth. In doing so, they will tap some of the ideas of older people that they have. I call older people as a live library. And if they are not approached, there are some issues that are not written anywhere. So when they die with the resources. So, but when they engage with the youth, they will give up what they know, and the young people will learn from them. In so doing, we will try to change the behavior, the attitude of the youth toward older people. And in so doing, the issues of older people will be harmonized, and the older people will live their life. Yep.
Thank you so much for sharing what you are doing. It's very important. And also, you will be taking the stage shortly as well at the official event, starting in, I think, around 30 minutes.
Thank you.
And you will be one of the panelists to explore this topic further.
Yep.
So we really look forward to hear you speak more on this topic, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much also for watching. And again, in about 30 minutes, the official event to celebrate the International Day of Older Persons will begin here at UN headquarters, and you can watch the event live through UN Web TV. Thank you so much again for watching.